Hello students, welcome to the next lecture of your business communication. I hope you are healthy and sound and ready to study for your next topic, which is report. So what is a report? If we see, you must have seen or you have grown up by seeing these reports. If I say a report card, okay, so you have seen that report card every year, twice or thrice, and you must have a some information about these reports. Okay, if I talk about this report cards, these report cards used to tell about your performance during that particular time frame or during that session for the entire year, if we talk about. Okay, so what is a report? Okay, a report may be defined as a statement or an account, either big or small, on some happenings, findings, observations, or recommendations prepared either by an individual or by a group. So if I say that it defines as a statement or an account, so if you remember, it includes your subjects, your marks, statement. Okay, statement is something which can be a statement that in which statements given by your teachers. Okay, and an account that from 100 marks you have scored so and so. So it can be a statement of marks, okay, or an account, either big or small. So whenever we talk about either big or small, here we are talking about a general report. So it can be a small report or it can be a big enough report if we talk about business entities. Now, the second part says on some happenings. Happening means if I talk about a report card, it is regarding your quarterly, half yearly performance. And if I talk about business reports, then definitely it will be related to certain specific happening. Okay, if I talk about finance report, so it will be talking about the finance structure. Okay, so that is regarding some happening or some findings. Okay, you're finding out something new from those data which you have gathered. Then we have observation, that during this time period a student has performed such and such, or in case of a organizations, right, the company could make so much profit. So these are the observations. Okay, or recommendations. Now, depending upon these observations and findings, we recommend. Recommend means, proposed changes, which should be done in order to enhance the performance, whether individual, whether group, or whether of an activity. Okay, because sometimes what happens in a business is that what have been observed, the changes are made. We will be discussing these things later on. Okay, so there will be changes which will be made, right, within the organization, that if we do certain steps, it might lead to more profits. Okay, now prepared either by an individual or a group. Now I told you, as a report card, it was printed in a way that it depicts all the subjects and individual performance in those subjects according to your teacher. Okay, so now the report card can be made by an individual or by a group, because if we talk about a business activity, there will be more people, so it can be handled by one person or it can be handled by a group of people. Now, same thing, it may be prepared by a single individual or by a group of persons or a committee or subcommittee. Now, this is very important part. That's the reason why I have highlighted in a committee or a subcommittee. There are reports in government too. Okay. So what happens is कि something has happened and you want answer upon that particular happening. Okay. So why this particular thing has happened and what are the outcomes and what can be the corrective measures can be taken. For that reasons, there will be a report which is prepared by specific people, okay, specially assigned to analyze these kind of happening or activity. Okay, so I think so it's clear. It can be prepared by individual or a group or a committee or a subcommittee, because you hear in lots of news channels that if something has happened, okay, so a committee has been set up to evaluate what went wrong, what preventive measures can be taken. So these kind of committee and subcommittee is there to prepare the report and present in front of the higher authorities. Now, a report may be prepared at regular interval of time. Okay. Now, report can be quarterly, monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or might be yearly, depending upon the requirement. Now, if we talk about monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or yearly, right? It's generally the business oriented or related to academics. But when we talk about committee or subcommittee, right, it is dependent upon the particular happening or an activity. So I think this is clear to you all. Okay. So let's move. Now we are moving ahead with features of a report. Now, what are the features of a report? क्या क्या आता है एक रिपोर्ट में और कैसी होती है रिपोर्ट? ओके, so let's start with these particular points. The first point is based on facts which is supported by relevant data. Now report कहाँ से बनेगी? रिपोर्ट कहाँ से आएगी हमारे पास? हमारे पास आएगी थ्रू अ डेटा. ओके, डेटा कहाँ से मिलेगा? जैसे हमने बात की, अगर हम रिपोर्ट कार्ड की बात कर रहे हैं so that data has been provided by your specific subject teachers to your class teacher, right? That you scored out of 100 in particular test, you have scored so and so much. Okay, so these data is being given by the teachers to the class teacher. Similarly, the other data is being gathered from the sources which are available at government sites or in lots of things. So these are based on those facts, and further these data is analyzed and the report is being constructed depending upon the data. Now, second point is follow a proper form and style. Now, a report must follow a proper form. If it is a business report, it will in for the classes you are going to study that what will be the form or a style or the types which we will be dealing ahead. Okay, now a proper form, again I take the example of your progress report or report card where your name, your roll number is being depicted. So it has a proper form or a style, your class roll number, your enrollment number, and then the subjects is being allotted, and then the mark is being on that particular site. Okay, and then final total. Okay, that how you have scored so much marks from grand total, and then one or two remarks from the class teacher or the subject teacher, whatever it is, and then your attendance and everything is. So it has a proper structure, and that is required in a report. Similarly, when we talk about business, then also it has a particular structure which needs to be followed. So it can be said as it is a well structured. Now it has a definite purpose, definitely, as we have discussing so far that What is a progress report card or a report card? It tells about your progress, that how you have performed and how you have scored, in which subjects you are, lacking behind. So that is very important, because this progress report tells about your progress during half yearly, quarterly, or yearly. Now it provides information and helps in communication. Again, now this progress report is going to tell about the information, the total marks, what you have scored, then grand total. So it's the information, and helps in communication, because this communication is between the school and your parents. Okay, so this is a way of communication, that how your child has performed during this quarterly or half yearly or yearly basis. Now it can be circulated among concerned persons in business activities for decision making. Whenever we are talking in terms of business activities, reports can be circulated, they are being analyzed, recommendations are being asked, okay, and it helps in decision making. We will understand these things later on. Now it is for specific use. I told you that performance report was regarding a particular specific use of your performance. When we talk about finance report, it talks about financial aspect. If we talk about annual report of a company, so annual report will be telling about that how a company has performed from last year to this year. So this is an annual report. Then it provides systematic guidance. How it going to provide a systematic guidance? It's going to provide a systematic guidance by providing the information that present scenario is so and so, and with the help of recommendations that we have discussed, and depending upon those recommendations, we can take corrective measures or we can make changes in future course of action. Okay, so it is a systematic guidance to enhance, either it's your performance, either it's regarding your financial aspects of the business or the profitability of a business. That depends upon a purpose with which the report has been prepared. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So the next part is functions of a report. What functions do a report fulfill? Now, very first function is it provides information. As we have seen, the data is being collected, because whatever we want to analyze or we want to report, okay, we have to gather the information, the data, and from that information or data, we sort down, okay, the relevant information. Okay, this is also we are going to just discuss in the next slide, that it provides information regarding a specific thing or a happening or a activity related to that particular activity or happening, or a point on which the report is being asked to make. Then the second is it helps in selection. How it helps in selection? That we just have studied in a previous slide, that it is for specific purpose. If I'm talking about finance, then we will be might be collecting lots of information, but we will be selecting the data regarding the finance aspect. We are not digging every aspect of the business activities. We will restrict ourselves to financial part. Again, performance, we are not bothered about finance, we will be bothered about the performance of the organization, where only the performance will be selected and the report will be constructed on that particular performance of the organization. Then the third is role in control system. Okay, how it plays a role in a control system? Because if you are reporting something, you are analyzing that what were the things on which things went wrong, or what we expected from actual. There is a deviation. Deviation means away from that. Whatever we do, we set up the objectives, right? So what we are doing is we have set up the objectives or the guidelines or a benchmark that that particular thing needs to be done. Okay, so if we talk about that certain things needs to be done and that things are not being done, then definitely these reports help us to analyze that what went wrong at which place, and it helps in a control system. How it helps in a control system? It helps to take corrective measures. We can correct at that moment of time. So rather than hampering the growth in future course of action, we can correct ourselves. Similarly, why performance report was given to you? If in the starting you are not able to do the question, suppose it's maths, so if you're not able to do that question properly, you are supposed to analyze it, understand that yes, this is my performance and I have to work hard in maths if I'm not able to do these questions correctly. Okay, so for future course of action, it is a kind of a control system. So for yearly performance, definitely these small quarterly or half yearly exams is going to act as a control system. Okay, now then we have helpful in profitable operations. Profitable operations, because if you are taking a control system, you are taking a corrective measures, you are correcting them at the right time and making the changes in the organization depending upon the recommendation of the reports, then definitely your operations will be more corrected at every step, and then it can lead to a profitable activities for your business in long term. Not at that amount of time, but gradually every step, if you are taking a corrective measures, then definitely in later stage of the life cycle of your project, you are going to have a profitable course of functioning. Okay, and the last is helpful in achieving objectives. Now all the reports along with the objectives which have been specified by the organization have some objectives. If we are doing a business, then we are doing with a particular purpose, and if we are making a report, it is related to a specific thing. Okay, so if we are talking about in terms of objectives, हमने सेटअप किया हुआ है कि हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ये ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अचीव करने हैं और हम करेक्टिव मेजर्स कर रहे हैं, हम रिपोर्ट्स को एनालाइज कर रहे हैं, हम रिकमेंडेशंस को इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं. Every activity is getting back to the place. They are working properly. So definitely जो हम ऑब्जेक्टिव्स अचीव करना चाह रहे हैं, हम ग्रेजुअली उन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को अचीव करेंगे, बिकॉज हम हर चीज को एनालाइज करके, फाइंडिंग्स निकाल के, रिकमेंडेशंस को इम्प्लीमेंट करके, हम करेक्ट करके, हम सारी चीज़ों को सही करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. एंड प्रॉफिटेबल तभी हो पाएगा कोई भी बिजनेस ऑपरेशन जब हम सारी चीज़ों को ढंग से करेंगे जो हम करना चाहते हैं, और तभी हम अटेन कर पाएंगे. सो दैट इज हाउ थिंग्स मूव इन दैट वे इफ the reporting is being done on time and done properly. Okay, so this is very important aspect. Now we move on to what is effective business report. I'm taking an example here of a business report so that you understand that what can be effective business report. Okay, क्या क्या चीजें उसमें जरूरी हैं होने के लिए, then only we can say it can be a business report which is effective. Okay, so then only we can attain the objectives of the organizations. Now clarity of purpose, that is very important, that for what purpose we are making a report, it should be very clear, right? So clarity of a purpose with which the report is being formed. हम क्या फाइंड कर रहे हैं, किसी चीज की हम रिपोर्टिंग कर रहे हैं या हम किसी चीज का एनालाइज कर रहे हैं. जैसे हम आगे भी पढ़ेंगे, जैसे रिसर्च रिपोर्ट में एक प्रॉब्लम होती है जिसको हम एनालाइज करते हैं, तो उस प्रॉब्लम को ही डिफाइन करने में हमें बहुत टाइम लगता है. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज क्लैरिटी ऑफ पर्पस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, सो किस पर्पस से रिपोर्ट बननी है, उसी में क्लैरिटी होना इज द वेरी फर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ इफेक्टिव बिजनेस रिपोर्ट. फाइनेंशियल पार्ट है तो फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग ऑफ व्हाट, राइट, कितनी डेप्थ में करनी है, क्या करना है, हम क्या करेंगे और कैसे निकालेंगे. देन सेकंड इज एक्यूरेसी. ओके, एक्यूरेसी मींस जो रिक्वायर्ड है वही लेंगे, अननेसेसरी का डेटा और इंफॉर्मेशन को हम बिजनेस रिपोर्ट में नहीं डालेंगे. बिकॉज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द रिपोर्ट टेल्स यू अबाउट अ पर्टिकुलर थिंग or a topic or analysis. So we are interested in analysis, not on increasing the pages of a business report. Then we have clarity. Now there is a difference between point 1 and point 3. Point 1 says that it should have a clarity of a purpose, of with what purpose the report needs to be made. And here the clarity means कि सारी चीजों की क्लैरिटी हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. पर्पस तो है ही है, उसके बाद भी हमें क्या ढूंढना है ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ओके, so this clarity is for every step of analysis and finding. Okay, then we have preciseness. Preciseness means unnecessary चीजें हमें नहीं ढूंढनी है या डेटा में नहीं इन्वॉल्व होना है. हमें प्रिसाइज तरीके से अपनी रिपोर्ट को प्रिपेयर करना है एंड विद रेफरेंस टू द पर्पस विद विच इट हैज टू बी फाउंड. क्यों बनाई गई है रिपोर्ट या किस पर्पस से हमें रिपोर्ट बनानी है, उस पर्पस को ध्यान में रखते हुए स्ट्रेट, प्रिसाइज एंड कंसाइज फॉर्म में उसको हमको तैयार करना है. नाउ देन वी हैव रेलेवेंस. अगर रिपोर्टिंग फाइनेंस से है, ठीक है, तो बाकी जो रेलेवेंट नहीं है उन सब इंफॉर्मेशन को हम नहीं देंगे. परफॉर्मेंस से रिलेटेड है, हम यहाँ फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट को नहीं दिखा सकते. सो दैट इज इट शुड बी रेलेवेंट विद व्हाट कॉन्टेक्स्ट रिपोर्ट इज रिक्वायर्ड. ओके, अब बिजनेस रिपोर्ट है तो बिजनेस एक्टिविटी होगी. अगर प्रोसेस रिलेटेड है तो प्रोसेस से रेलेवेंट होना चाहिए. इट शुड नॉट गो टू द परफॉर्मेंस देन कि ये प्रोसेस में क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, तो वो प्रोसेस स्पेसिफिक होनी चाहिए. Then we have easy to understand. The reporting of a business report should be easy to understand. Everybody does not have the same mind frame or, you know, understanding those tough words or vocabulary. So reporting should always be done in a simple language rather than putting up complex sentences. Then reader oriented. Now आप रिपोर्ट किसके लिए बना रहे हो? The people who have asked you and उनको क्या चाहिए है, the reporting should be done in that way. It should not go here and there. It should be what is being asked or a specific related to your particular specific topic. Then it should be unbiased. Unbiased का क्या मतलब होता है? Unbiased means biasness नहीं होनी चाहिए. अरे हमारा अगर कोई झुकाव है फाइनेंस की तरफ, हम फाइनेंस नहीं डाल सकते. वी हैव टू बी रिलेटेड टू अ स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम या टॉपिक जो कि बन रहा है. और जो डेटा ले रहे हैं हम अपनी विश से नहीं ले सकते. इट शुड बी अनबाइज्ड. अनबाइज्ड मीन्स कोई बाइसनेस या पर्सनल चॉइस उसके अंदर नहीं होनी चाहिए, हमारी कन्वीनियंस नहीं. इट शुड बी depending upon the requirement of the report. So it should not be taken with our convenience or कि भाई डेटा कलेक्ट करने जाना पड़ेगा तो I would not like to go or something like that. These things are not to be taken care of in business reports. It's basically you have to be unbiased. You have to work according to the purpose with which report is being asked. आपकी उसमें पर्सनल चॉइस नहीं चलेगी. Search for this particular word unbiasedness in your vocabulary, in your dictionary, and increase your vocabulary. And then relevant suggestions. जो भी हम सजेशंस पुटअप करते हैं, इट शुड बी रेलिवेंट विद कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ पर्पस। हम ड्रिफ्ट अपार्ट नहीं कर सकते, हम इधर उधर जंप नहीं कर सकते, हम जनरल सजेशंस ना दें। जो रिपोर्ट है उससे रिलेटेड ही हमारी जो फाइंडिंग्स हैं और उसमें हम क्या चेंजेस कर सकते हैं, करेक्टिव मेजर्स ला सकते हैं और बेटर सिचुएशन कर सकते हैं, देन ओनली दैट रेलेवेंट सजेशन शुड बी गिवन। These point if being considered format के साथ, well structured के साथ, then we can say it is an effective business report. Okay, points भी होने चाहिए, clarity भी होनी चाहिए, purpose भी होना चाहिए, simple language भी होनी चाहिए, reader oriented होना चाहिए, and corrective measures के लिए हमारे पास relevant suggestions होने चाहिए. So that's all for today's lecture, and I hope it was an interesting class. Hope to see you in next class very soon. Bye for now and have a nice day.